They told us Jesus belonged only to Christianity, but what if I told you that Islam has been guarding his true story all along? A version untouched, unaltered, preserved exactly as it was meant to be. This isn't just history, it's the truth Christianity never told you. For centuries, people have been told one version of who Jesus was. In churches, classrooms, and traditions passed down, Jesus has been described in ways that often blur the line between who he truly was and what people later claimed him to be. But when you turn to the Qur'an, something remarkable happens. The confusion clears, the contradictions vanish, and what remains is a picture of Jesus that feels pure, consistent, and protected from human alteration. Islam does not erase Jesus, it honors him. It doesn't silence his story, it preserves it. From his miraculous birth without a father to his life filled with signs and wonders, the Qur'an speaks of him with dignity and truth. But it doesn't stop there. It corrects the misconceptions that crept in over time. Where Christianity turned Jesus into a figure of worship, Islam brings him back to his rightful place, not as God, but as one of the greatest prophets of God. This preservation matters because it protects Jesus' legacy from distortion. Instead of making him carry claims he never made, the Qur'an restores his voice. It shows us a man of purity, obedience, and miracles, but always connected to the will of the Creator. And perhaps most powerful of all, it reminds us that Jesus' story isn't finished. According to Islam, he will return before the end of times, not to start a new religion, but to bring humanity back to the truth he always stood for, worshiping the one God. So today we're going to uncover the Jesus that Christianity hid and Islam preserved, the Jesus whose honor was safeguarded by God himself, the Jesus who stands as a bridge between faiths, and the Jesus whose story still has a final chapter to be written. One of the most powerful signs of who Jesus truly was lies in the story of his miraculous birth. Both Christianity and Islam affirm that Jesus was born of a virgin mother, Mary. But the Qur'an preserves this event with crystal clarity, free from confusion, exaggeration, or distortion. In the Qur'an, Mary is honored as one of the most righteous women in history. When she withdrew in devotion, the angel Gabriel appeared to her with news that she would give birth to a son. Mary was shocked. How could this be, when no man had ever touched her? The angel's reply carried the essence of God's power. It will be so. God creates whatever he wills. When he decrees a matter, he only says to it, "Be," and it is. This moment is not just about a miraculous birth. It's a reminder of God's absolute authority over creation. Just as Adam was created without a father or mother, Jesus was created without a father. Both are signs of God's limitless ability. His birth was never meant to prove divinity, but to demonstrate divine power. Christian tradition, over centuries, sometimes blurred this distinction. The virgin birth became linked to ideas of divinity and original sin, concepts Jesus himself never taught. But Islam preserved the event in its purest meaning, a miracle of God assigned to humanity and proof that nothing is impossible for the Creator. Through this, Jesus' story is protected. He remains a servant of God, a prophet chosen for a special mission, and a living sign of God's will. The Qur'an strips away human interpretations and hands us back the truth, a miraculous birth that glorifies not the child as God, but the God who gave him life. When we look at the way Christianity portrays Jesus, especially in later centuries, we see a shift from a messenger of God to being seen as God himself. But when we open the Qur'an, that confusion disappears. Islam preserves Jesus' true mission, presenting him as a servant and messenger of the Almighty, carrying the same message as every prophet before him worshiped the one God. The Qur'an records Jesus speaking from the very beginning of his life. As a newborn in his mother's arms, he miraculously declared, "I am indeed the servant of God. He has given me the scripture and made me a prophet." These words alone set the foundation. Before he grew, before he preached, even before people could shape stories about him, he himself declared his role a servant of God, chosen as a prophet. This is a powerful preservation because it removes all later exaggerations. Jesus never asked people to worship him. He never claimed divinity. Instead, he stood in the same line as Abraham, Moses, and Muhammad, calling people to purity, righteousness, and faith in the Creator alone. His mission was unity, not division, truth, not confusion. Where Christianity blurred the line between messenger and deity, Islam draws it clearly. Jesus was honored not because he was God, but because he was a prophet who submitted fully to God. His miracles, his teachings, and his very life were testimonies of God's greatness, not his own. By preserving this truth, Islam safeguards Jesus' honor. It restores him to his rightful place, not above humanity as God, and not diminished as ordinary, but exactly where he belongs, a mighty prophet, servant, and messenger of the one who created us all. One of the greatest differences between Christianity and Islam lies in the story of the crucifixion. Christianity built its foundation on the belief that Jesus died on the cross for humanity's sins, but the Qur'an preserves a very different and deeply protective account of what really happened. According to Islam, Jesus was never crucified. He was never humiliated, nor killed by his enemies. Instead, God protected him from such an end. The Qur'an says clearly, they did not kill him, nor did they crucify him, but it was made to appear so to them. This means that while people thought they had succeeded, the reality was far different. This preservation matters because it safeguards both God's justice and Jesus' honor. How could a prophet, sent to guide people, be left helpless in the hands of his enemies? How could the Almighty allow his chosen messenger to be shamed in such a way? The Qur'an resolves this with clarity. Jesus was not defeated. Instead, he was raised up to God, honored and protected. Over time, Christianity transformed the crucifixion into a doctrine of salvation, one that Jesus himself never preached. The idea that a prophet's death was needed to cleanse the sins of others is absent from his true message. Islam removes this layer of human interpretation and brings back the truth. Salvation comes from turning to God directly, not through the death of a messenger. By denying the crucifixion, Islam doesn't diminish Jesus, it elevates him. It shows that God always protects his prophets, never abandoning them to disgrace. Jesus' mission was not cut short, and his story is not over. In fact, Islam teaches he will return, proving once again that his legacy cannot be silenced or erased. When people think of Jesus, miracles often come to mind. Healing the blind, curing lepers, and even raising the dead. These are some of the most powerful moments recorded about his life. But what is often forgotten is the source of these miracles. Christianity sometimes frames them as proof of Jesus' divinity. Islam, however, preserves their true meaning. Every miracle was a sign of God's power, performed through Jesus by his permission. The Qur'an highlights these miracles in detail. Jesus shaped a bird from clay, and by God's command, it came to life. He healed those born blind and the lepers, restoring them with a touch. He called the dead to rise, and they did. He even spoke as a newborn child, defending his mother's honor. But each time, the Qur'an repeats the phrase, by God's permission. This is not a small detail. It is the heart of the message. These miracles were never meant to elevate Jesus to the status of God. They were meant to point people back to the Creator who gave him this power. Just like Moses splitting the sea or Muhammad's prophecies coming true, Jesus' miracles were signs, reminders of God's greatness working through his chosen prophets. Islam preserves this perspective with balance. It does not deny the miracles, nor exaggerate them into proof of divinity. Instead, it presents Jesus as a prophet gifted with extraordinary signs to guide his people, always dependent on the will of God. Through this, Islam restores the beauty of Jesus' story. His miracles inspire awe, not because they prove he was divine, but because they demonstrate the Creator's limitless power. Working through one of his most honored messengers, one of the most profound truths preserved in Islam about Jesus is that his story is not over. Unlike other prophets who completed their mission and passed away, Jesus was raised up by God and will return before the end of time. This belief, deeply rooted in Islamic teaching, is both powerful and hopeful, showing that Jesus' role in guiding humanity is far from finished. The Qur'an tells us that Jesus was not killed or crucified, but taken up by God in honor. This preservation was not the end of his mission, but a pause until the time appointed. The Prophet Muhammad further explained that in the last days, when injustice and corruption cover the earth, Jesus will descend once more. His second coming will not bring a new religion or scripture. Instead, it will confirm the truth he always preached, to worship the one God. He will correct the confusions that grew around his name, remove falsehoods, and unite people in justice and truth. His return will be a living testimony that his mission was never lost, never altered, and never abandoned by God. This teaching amazed me because it shows how deeply Islam preserves not just Jesus' past, but also his future. He is not merely a historical figure whose life ended tragically, but a chosen prophet whose story is ongoing, woven into the destiny of humanity. In Islam, Jesus is alive, protected until the day he will return. His second coming is a promise that truth will always triumph over lies, that justice will prevail, and that the mission of God's prophets can never be erased. Through this, Islam keeps Jesus' legacy alive, untarnished, and awaiting its final glorious chapter. So after exploring all of this, one truth becomes clear. Jesus was never lost, never forgotten, and never abandoned. What was hidden or confused in Christianity has been preserved with clarity in Islam. The Qur'an safeguards his miraculous birth, his role as a prophet, the truth about the crucifixion, his miracles performed by God's will, and the promise of his return. Every detail is protected, untouched, and free from human distortion. For centuries, people have been told that Jesus belongs only to one faith, that his story ends with the cross, or that he must be worshipped to bring salvation. But Islam shows us something far greater, that Jesus never claimed divinity, never asked for worship, and never strayed from the pure mission of every prophet to guide humanity back to the one God. What struck me most was the respect. Islam doesn't diminish Jesus. It elevates him by protecting his honor. It shows him as a man chosen by God, filled with miracles, yet always humble, always pointing back to the Creator. It reminds us that the power behind his signs was never his own, but a reflection of God's greatness. And it gives us hope for the future, because his mission is not over. His return will be the final proof that truth always survives, no matter how much time passes or how much confusion spreads. This isn't just theology, it's a wake-up call. If Islam has preserved the truth about Jesus so clearly, then maybe it holds answers about life, faith, and God that the world has overlooked. Maybe it's time to look beyond tradition and hear Jesus' story as it was meant to be told, safeguarded by the very words of God. So the question now is simple: will you keep believing the version shaped by men, or will you open your heart to the truth that God himself preserved? The Jesus of Islam is waiting to be discovered, and once you see him as the Qur'an describes, you may realize the truth was always greater than you were told.